broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We went from over 11,000 entrants to 40 to 13, and we're beginning to talk about it. I messed up my whole intro. But let's just do it. We're just going to talk it. Woo. Welcome, everybody. Tough Enough AfterBuzz. You're watching us live on the AfterBuzz YouTube page on AfterBuzzTV.com. You're listening to iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars, and use that hashtag ABTV Tough Enough.
Thumbs up.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. You can find me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, on Instagram at The Real Rosenberg, and this is our Tough Enough panel. I'm super excited for this. We're going to have a fun-filled season for you. The lovely lady to my left, at Christy Reports.
Yes.
It's the beautiful, the charming, and the predictions champion, which kind of bugs me a little bit. It's Christy Olson.
Let's not forget to mention, and no one is more excited than me.
All right, fair enough.
Just saying. But yeah, this is going to be fun.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. Over on the other side of the table, we have, first off, I'll tell you who it is once I describe what you're wearing. He's wearing hair. He has eyes, eyebrows, and a green WrestleMania shirt. That's Steve Kaufmann. It's Steve Kaufmann.
Thanks for having me. This is going to be so much fun.
It is. And the man next to you, the encyclopedia of sports entertainment, as we have donned him here at AfterBuzz, at G Hermoza. It is Mr. George Hermoza.
Hello there.
Hello. And we're not all... It's not just all us here tonight.
No.
We got a guest also.
That wouldn't be cool.
I know. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a guest on the first episode? Well, how about a fantastic, casting director? He's cast several reality shows. You name it, he's probably worked on it. He helped narrow down the Tough Enough group to the 40. You can follow him on Twitter at Marc with a C. N Casting. Marc Levine is joining us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Loving the couch. I appreciate this.
Yeah, it's comfy, right?
I'm loving it.
Yeah. And we
love all night.
Perfect.
Fine phone.
I mean, we're only going to be here about 45 minutes or so, but if you want to be here all night, that's
I'm sticking
fine.
around. Yeah.
All right. Well, we love having guests here, and we love doing these type of shows, and we love always hearing from our fans and our listeners, and we want to hear more from you by just taking a minute to fill out the Podcast One survey at podcastone.com, where you're talking about all your favorite AfterBuzz shows. It only takes 3 minutes to take, and it's really important because it lets us know what you like and what you want, and we want to deliver the best product for you possible. So do us a favor, take literally just 3 minutes. And no, George, I'm not talking about the old tag team.
Did somebody just say 3 minutes?
Nah, I was waiting for you to say that. But yeah, please go to podcastone.com. It's underneath the navigation menu on the rotation sides. Take that survey. We love you for it, and we want to keep doing this type of shows for you. Just like Marc loves casting all these great reality shows.
Yeah.
Marc, let me ask you right off the bat. You had to deal with looking at over 11,000 submissions and whittle it down to 40. How little sleep did you have?
That's a good question. Actually, luckily, it wasn't all me.
Okay.
There was a team over there at the WWE who helped me get through it. So basically, they would get the first pass, make sure that it, held up to our standards, and if they thought their competitor went into a certain file that I then got to look at. So I didn't have to see all 11,000. We had a team to go through that. I probably saw close to 1,000.
Quick question though: was there a certain checklist where if so and so doesn't have this, then automatically cross it off?
There wasn't that. It was more if they did offensive things, or it is still PG. So there are certain things people couldn't do on these videos, including copyright stuff, things like that. So. Looked offensive, sounded offensive, was offensive, they were out.
How annoyed was the team with people shooting the videos not hard?
I'd say me more than anybody. It's amazing how somebody would send in a video and not check to see if it was upside down or not. And it happens, no joke. I want to say 30% of the time.
Completely upside down.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
If
you
not
guys should have
sideways.
tried to make it a little more clear. You know?
Hey, like, we didn't hear
was
over and
pretty
over and
obvious.
over that it must be horizontal.
Right.
Like, they never acknowledged that at all.
Well, you are correct. I guess it is our fault, and yeah, I'll make a note next time for sure. But yeah, no, it's crazy. There are so many people to go through, and yeah, it's tough to whittle it down. It really is. A lot harder than people think. Yeah.
Did you feel like it was a strong bunch that you were looking at?
Oh, absolutely. Not just the 40 that made it. There had to be at least 100, if not 120, that were really, had possibilities and that were in the mix. And those 80 probably don't want to hear that now, that they were close. But yeah, it's tough, man. And there actually were maybe 10 or 12 that we wanted to come down, that in the end, it didn't work out for different reasons.
When you guys had 41 people, were you like, oh God, I'm trying to that one more?
Yeah, it was hard to make that last cut. Honestly, going from 60 to 40 was a really hard cut for us. So just to get there, so to get it to 41, to get that last person, it's tough. And to get to 13, I'm glad I didn't have to do it. Yeah.
But you were there when that was happening, right?
I was there. I was outside of the room. They didn't let me in the room, but yeah.
Why didn't they let you in the room? Wait a minute. Why didn't they let you in the room to make that decision?
Well, because it was the big boys were in the room. Yeah, and I didn't get to go with the big boys. Yeah, that's the way it was.
Well, yeah, it's always tough, trying to whittle down when you're in those final decisions, and that actually leads me to this really cool product that I do want to bring up here. So before we continue, I wanted to tell you guys about this exciting app that has all the magazines. Like if you're at the grocery store, you're like, I want this magazine or that magazine, but you can get all the magazines you love in one app at one price with unlimited access. It's called Next Issue, and you can get a free 30-day trial of Next Issue if you go to nextissue.com/abtv. And
just for you guys, we're doing that for you.
And I'm pulling up an extra tablet here so I can try to show you at home as technology. So
you'll get there.
So this is kind of like the thing of Next Issue. So first off, if I want to look at all the different categories of magazines, I can go on here and say I'm looking for a sports magazine. Say I'm looking for an entertainment magazine. Say, hey, I really want, I want to cook something really nice, but I don't want to go out and buy a cookbook. I can find a magazine. Like, it's just endless. Magazines after magazines, you name it, it's on here. And then not only that, say you picked your own magazine that you like. So for example, this is Philip's tablet here. He loves Wired magazine. He's a big fan of Wired magazine, so he's subscribed to that. He can go on here and look at every issue of Wired magazine. So awesome. It's really cool. This thing is normally only $10 a month. So it's really cheap to begin with, and you'll get your first 30 days free if you go to nextissue.com/abtv. Do it now. Read up, weigh up on all of your interests. Nextissue.com/abtv. I don't want to break Phil's tablet here, so I'm going to gently put it down.
Well, that's really cool because I was just saying to myself today, I missed that Muscle and Hers issue that Nikki and Brie were on the cover of. But with that one, you can go back and look at all the old issues. That's really cool.
And on Tough Enough.
Real quick, was it $10 or was it $9.99?
Ooh.
You know what? For you, it's going to be $9.99.
Ooh.
For the general public,
okay,
$10.01. You
got to make up for that penny somewhere.
Yeah. So let's first talk about, because the first thing we get on tonight's episode of Tough Enough is we get introduced to the set. And I'm reminded, because I do the AfterBuzz here for NBC's The Voice. Yeah. And to me, this whole setup is just like the wrestling version of The Voice. They have a much longer triangle stage, and then the judge, instead of the chairs that turn around, they're in a ring with Hulk Hogan, Dan O'Brien, and Paige all sitting there. I'm just missing the Starbucks cups that The Voice has. What do we think of the fact that they've really turned this wrestling style show into, it is a reality show, but they're really making it look like your typical reality competition show.
Mm-hmm. I can't help but to think about how much of an influence NBC/Universal might have in the actual show.
That's a good point.
USA Network owns NBC. NBC owns The Voice. It's like, oh, well, let's try to compare the two. Because if you really think about it, we all knew Tough Enough was coming back, and we all thought it was going to be on the network. For me, I was a little surprised when I found out it was going to be on the USA Network. So now I was thinking, I wonder what kind of influence they're going to have. I think they answered that question tonight, and I think a lot of influence.
I think in later weeks it would be nice if they had matches in this live section.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
That won't
Probably
happen.
not happening.
That won't happen.
But
maybe the finale. Maybe the finale.
There's a ring. It can happen.
Maybe there'll be a tiebreaker in the vote or something.
A tiebreaker. Go out there and try to do a match. You've only been in training for a week, but do it.
Live television. Make it happen.
I'd love that.
Mark, this was kind of your first glimpse at this set as well. What were your thoughts with it?
Similar to yours, I didn't know what we were going to come up with, what they were going to come up with, and it looked nice, futuristic, looked cool.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the reality side of things than the live side of things. I want to see more of what happens in the house, what happens, with their training, all that sort of stuff.
Now, speaking of which, it's not really a house, though. It's like they call it the barracks?
The barracks.
The barracks?
That is correct.
And you confirmed it actually is at the WWE Performance Center.
It's right next door. It's right next door to it. So, yes, it is the same thing. It's all right there. They're attached. It's all the Performance Center. It's just been extended a little bit now to include this. Yeah.
We're not being bamboozled. They're not staying at a hotel.
No, it's right there. It's right there. They go to the bathroom there. They shower there in the Performance Center. They really do.
And if you follow Tough Enough on Periscope, they Periscope from there pretty much
all day.
Like 10 times a day. Like each of them have, I guess they can all log in from Tough Enough's Twitter on their personal phone, and then they can just Periscope. Because I think if you were to go on Periscope right now, you'd probably see them at a bar.
I think you're probably
or sleeping, or in a hot tub, which we'll talk about a little bit.
Well, Mark, if you don't mind me asking, was social media numbers something that you looked at in these contestants? Was that like if someone was a draw, was that something that was important?
That's a great question. We did look at that. In the end, it didn't make a big difference in who got on the show. We actually had some people with 2 million people or 500,000 people that did not get on the show. So in the end, it wasn't as big of an influence, but we did take that into consideration throughout casting, yes.
That's interesting.
Good question.
We got lots of good questions.
Bring them, yeah.
We'll get to them because.
But just for the record, mine was the only one that made him say it.
I said it like 3 times, too.
Just saying.
Guys, we should ask him more questions, see if he thinks those are good too.
Okay, question, but okay.
He's like, that was an adequate question.
What do you got?
Well, no. Well, let's get into the cast and kind of find out, Mark, from you being your firsthand, what really was the thing with these guys that got him into the 40, which then ultimately got him the 13. So the first one we were introduced to was Josh, aka the Yeti, aka the former football player, aka, in my opinion, the poor man's Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, if you look at the guy, he looks a lot like Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Just not all like Roman Reigns. But so obviously his size, I'm sure, was a factor. But like, what stood out with Josh?
Sure. Well, a lot comes into play when you're looking for these different types, and since it was wrestling, there were different things you're looking at more than normal. You want the personality and all that, but this time you need the size, you need the look, you needed the full package. Josh actually came out of the Green Bay Packers training camp about a week before we talked to him. So he came out, wasn't sure what he was doing next, got in touch with us. We saw his size. We interviewed him. He was great in the interview, and we said, hey, you can't teach size, as they always say. Has a great look, great size, very likable guy. He actually had over 50,000 people on his Twitter and Instagram, I believe. So that was taken into consideration. But it was really, I think for him, he was just a specimen. Big boy.
Okay.
Yeah, looked the part.
The next person we get introduced to is it's this girl that's on the show, and I feel like I've seen her before.
What are you looking at me for?
I've seen her around here.
I feel her name's Daria. Oh, do we know a Daria?
I heard George knew her. She was.
Yeah, let's try to think. Where do we know Daria from? I mean, what type of ultimate show? Yeah, try to Google her.
This girl named Daria.
Daria. She's a fighter in like an ultimate style. She loves yellow microphones. I'm just gonna let the Jeopardy music play out before we end this joke.
I was gonna say I'm this close to just saying it.
No, we gotta wait. We gotta wait. All right, everyone, put their pens down. Okay. Go ahead. Anyone? No answer? No question to the answer? All right, AfterBuzz TV host Daria. There it is.
Ding, ding, ding.
AfterBuzz, so she hosts the Ultimate Fighter AfterBuzz with George. She is, and George is just silent for some reason.
Well, it's because I'm texting Daria right now.
He's texting her. Yeah, tell her we're talking about Daria right now.
Yes.
Ultimate Fighter, mixed martial artist, hosts the Ultimate Fighter on AfterBuzz. She's on Tough Enough.
Yay.
What stood out about Daria?
Exactly what you just said right there. I mean, the show is called Tough Enough, and she was a tough chick. When we saw her videos, we saw her fight, we saw her work out. We just thought she was badass, really. So interviewed her, came through, good personality, got that Jersey girl.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jersey Devil.
Yeah, and then whatever she said to the judges during the casting special, maybe put her over the top.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be following her, I have a feeling. Then there's Hank, who we'll talk about more later on. Hank, he talked about how he was like the average Joe guy. He doesn't look average to me.
Vince Vaughn in Dodgeball looks average.
Well, I think he's average for Tough Enough. Would be his actual argument.
He
was comparative. That's a comparative term.
But from the second he appeared on the television, he just appeared super cocky to me. Mm-hmm. What was Hank's story?
It's funny because in person, he's not cocky in the least. He's like the nicest guy. He really is. Actually, kind of quiet and unassuming for the most part. But Hank was just, and I hate to say it again because I said it with Josh, he's kind of a specimen too. He was a linebacker in college. He kicked ass, in college, and he's just a big boy. And actually, when I saw him in person, and it's what we saw in his video right off the bat, it was his size and his look. We just really looked like a big bad guy who could, maybe play a good heel or something like that. So I was always taking that into consideration as much as their personality. So he was another one who came more along the lines of look, size, look the part.
Gotcha.
Athlete, too. Great athlete. Both those guys. Big athletes.
A few other, I'm just going to kind of go through a few of these quick because there's one I have a particular question on. There's Amanda, the model. So, of course, she's big on her looks. Alex, the Russian with all the tattoos. Mada, the big Egyptian. I got my eye on. I like him, just his look.
I like his look.
I like that guy's look a lot.
He's got a lot to say as well.
Yeah. The one guy I really want to bring up to you is Patrick, the young guy. Now, of the 13 finalists, he is the only one that's had professional wrestling experience. And of the 40 people that got cast, only 7 of them were in professional wrestling. Now, obviously, it's a reality show. You want to look at the different styles of people, the MMA fighters, the football players, the wrestlers, the models, etc. But just, you're in that field. Why on a wrestling show do you feel that there was just so few actual wrestlers that were brought in?
Yeah, I mean, with this show, they wanted to start with, people that they can mold from the beginning. They said to us that there are times when people get bad habits, and they've been, in these other independent leagues, and then maybe they learn some, wrong things, and it's harder to correct that than just start fresh. They just really wanted fresh, clean slates, bring us athletes, bring us size, bring us personality, and we'll work with them. Everyone's got to start somewhere. So even these indie guys, they didn't wrestle before they started in indie wrestling. So what's the difference? Bring them in, see where they come from. But we look for all types. If they had a big enough personality and they were indie guys, we brought them in. We listened to them, gave them a shot. Unfortunately, a lot of the guys did promos, and they can't stop doing promos. Their videos, their cast videos were promos. And then I would talk to them, and they would say, who do you want me to be in this interview? I'd say, I want you to be you in this interview. And I'd say, no, but who do you want me to be when I'm on the show? And it would get frustrating. No, I want you to be you. And if you're only going to give me a promo, you're not getting past this round.
Was that the problem with Adam O'Reiner? The guy, because the Big O, because he was the one that really, like, as far as WWE Universe, he was the one that was probably known the most from Zack Ryder's internet show, wrestler. But yeah, every time you see him, it seems like he's cutting a promo. Was that kind of the thing with him?
Here's the thing with him. I almost feel bad if that did take him out of the mix because it's pretty much who he is. He is that promo guy. I saw his video and I laughed. I thought it was great. I said, let's interview this guy. 15-minute interview, I laughed. I said, this guy's hilarious. He's smart, he's quick, a really sharp guy. And when he got out there, it didn't stop. I mean, he was 24/7. He's just a wrestling freak and fanatic. And I think he just, it's who he is. It's part of his life and it is fiber. So he was constantly, it seemed like doing a promo, but I think it's really just him. He's just the Big O.
Gotcha. And then, like, a few other people just kind of rounding up the cast here. You have the Australian, Georgia.
I like her.
You have Gabby, the Brazilian, who that's going to be, like, like the bitch for the reality show. So she's just going to be entertaining to watch for reality purposes. You got Sarah. I like a lot. She's just like the small town girl.
Yeah.
Sarah's been my pick since her video.
And then you got Tanner, the MMA fighter. Diana, the model who just keeps talking about her fiance, which we're going to get into. And then we got the lovable ZZ.
Yay.
Oh my God, this guy just oozes charisma. And he was on another reality show a few years ago, Swamp People, which you also cast.
Oh.
And so, like, what was it when you saw this video come in? Were you just like, oh wait, I remember this guy?
So here's the thing: if you saw that season of Swamp People, ZZ was not the standout star. As a matter of fact, he did one season and then bye ZZ. We didn't know what happened to him. So when I saw the video for the first time, I was excited because I saw the potential in him as a 16-year-old. I didn't cast him on the show, for the record, the first time. Swamp People, somebody else did. But I saw his potential then, and I think he needed 2 years of seasoning. So I saw him, handed it off to one of my casting people, said, interview this guy. She came back, said, I loved him, he was great. I watched the interview. He was a slam dunk. There was nothing to it. He's a really colorful speaker. He just is.
He really looks like he has no negative anything in his soul, in his body, anything. Yeah. He really looks like just pure positivity.
He's loving every minute of everything, which is so great.
Always has a smile on his face.
And he really is that guy. He's a genuine guy. And anyone from his hometown that's chimed in on social media has nothing but great things to say about the kid. And, he's got a big heart. He really does.
18, too.
18.
Yeah, he's a youngin'.
That was a surprise.
Big boy, though. Big boy.
Yeah.
Big old 18-year-old.
Strong, too. You see some of his gator videos, lifting up, 600-pound gators and squatting them. Yeah.
Wow. Well, before we move on from the specifics, one person that was involved in the top 40 was Chelsea Green.
Sure.
I think that's her name. You guys may remember this ill-fated storyline on, was it Raw, right?
Yep.
Where she played Daniel Bryan's mistress. I was really surprised that she didn't make the final cut. She's got some wrestling experience. She's a great look. Can I ask, was there something specifically that kept her out of the top 13? And she was the alternate, is that right?
She was. She was the alternate, and I've said it before, and I really mean this. I wasn't in those rooms for the final deliberation, so I can't say exactly why she didn't get on. Chelsea's great, and she could be on the show. There's no doubt about it. I'm not sure in the end why she didn't get on. And I hate to say that. I don't want to give you a bad answer, but I don't know. She was right there, and she just missed. She could have been.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
So we might ask good questions. You still give good answers. don't worry about that. It's all good.
Well, I love that. That just speaks to the gut-wrenchingness of all of this. Like, these people turn their lives upside down to go and try to do this thing, and only 13 of them remain on the show.
Right.
And it's fascinating.
We met Chelsea in January. Another casting guy, DJ Feldman, and myself went down to the Performance Center, and we watched an audition. We saw the 40 people try out. And we met her there and thought she was amazing then and thought, oh, she should get on. And for whatever reason, she didn't. So when we went back, we talked to a couple of the girls that were at that audition for this to see if they'd still be interested. She was interested, and she came back out and, again, came close, and it didn't happen. So she's been there a couple of times. She's getting close. I think it's going to happen for her.
I think it's safe to say that, considering her wrestling background, she was trained by Lance Storm, so she knows for you to go out to Calgary, Alberta, to Canada, you got to love the business and be trained one of the best. I have no doubt that she is going to be somewhere, not too in the distant future.
Pretty soon,
Yeah, so she'll be there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because I made friends with her on Twitter, so I want her to be
They're
successful.
BFFs now.
Yeah.
So.
Should be. She's a great girl. Really is.
So then we get into the first challenge of the season, where it's pretty much just simply, let's see how your cardio is. We're going to have you run across this field multiple times with a parachute behind you, then drag your own body weight back across the field, and then climb up all the stairs. Tanner flies through the competition. ZZ, not so much. But again, expected.
I feel for ZZ because I think that would have been me. And I've been working on cardio for a while.
I would have been.
Even then, I'd be like, nope.
I would have been sent to the hospital.
I would have made it
in the middle of the first lap. So right away we're kind of seeing, the cardio abilities of Tanner, and then we get ready to start seeing the ego of Tanner as that night they all go ahead and go to the club, while ZZ and Patrick, the two underage guys, sit back and watch some TV and do some hot tubbing, where they broke ZZ's hot tub virginity, which is must-see TV.
That's
To say the least.
Yeah, but so when they're in the club, who was the one that was trying to do the pole dancing? Was that Deanna?
Well,
Was Gabby?
no surprise. It was Miss Gabby.
All right.
Yes.
So Gabby,
she apparently doesn't feel that she has enough else to offer. She had to jump up there on that pole
Hold on, before you go
when
on
she
that
had
one,
her chance.
maybe you can. What's her?
It's like, before you get started on your girl power BS, let me just interject for a second.
What was Gabby's? It was just somebody who stood out as far as personality goes.
Yeah, she's a feisty girl. She's a fighter and she's feisty, and they can't all be sweet and candy and all the. You need some
True.
pot stirrers, I guess I could say. So yeah, and it doesn't hurt that she's Brazilian, of course. It's a global company, and they want it to be as global as possible. So that didn't hurt, but it was the personality, just kind of tough girl. Yeah,
and that pole dancing, it was making me think of some other type of dancing.
I know, right?
Ain't that right, Christy?
You might know about this already. This is something that's really fun and exciting and cool. A brand new special that's going to air on ABC this fall. We've got a little connection to this one, too. You all know E-host Maria Menounos, who's also our EP here. And she has been doing this really cool thing for the last couple holiday seasons with her friend Julianne Hough, who you all know from Dancing with the Stars. They've engaged in these sort of fearsome... I know, she's super cute.
George is creepily. I love her. Go on.
So Julianne and Maria have done their dance battles via social media. You guys have probably all seen them tweeting about them. Derek has gotten in on it as well. Kate Hudson and Glee's Amber Riley have all been involved. And now they're challenging everyone in America. That means you people, you do not have to be a professional dancer. They want you to battle it out for a chance to fly to LA. Come see us in LA and compete on ABC's newest competition special, Dance Battle. So check it out. It's at dancebattleamericacasting.com. Get a little more info. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. So much fun. I think that pretty much covers it. And remember, you don't have to be a dancing pro like Julianne and Derek.
Or myself.
Or George. Anybody can do this, so go and submit your videos at dancebattleamericacasting.com.
I can't wait to make that flight from Burbank to LAX.
Hashtag Creepy George is trending right now.
Hashtag
I love
Creepy
it.
George is trending.
I love it.
Finally.
Sorry,
There
Julianne.
you go. No one's asking you questions anymore. They just say you're creepy. But at the club, while the dancing's happening, then the flirting begins.
Yeah.
Where all the girls are pretty much hanging around Mr. Champion Tanner. And all the other guys... I literally...
So jelly.
God, it was so junior high. It was so, like, here is Tanner with all the girls, and then, like, the camera pans to the other side, and here are all the other guys just standing there like, oh, that's not cool. Why is he getting all the girls' attention?
On Tough Talk afterwards, Vince called them out on it. He's like, what are you guys doing? Like, stop being jealous of this guy who's got all these girls around him.
Thank you, Miz. I don't think I've ever said that before, but thank you, Miz. Yeah, I mean, so... When you're casting reality shows, Mark,
yes,
obviously the flirtations, the relationships, that's always a big part because, as you can tell, people are interested in it and talk about it. When you get shows like this that are more action based, how do you find a way to make it kind of work to get that flirtation still involved with these type of action-packed shows?
Right. I think it's more just a matter of you put attractive people in a room together and just they have nothing to do but be together, it's just going to come out. That's just kind of one of the things that happens. It's like people always ask for reality TV, you're looking for this to put with this. No, you put a bunch of type A's in a room and they're all going to want to fight for the spotlight like they always do, and that's how you get a lot of the drama. It's just the way it happens. But yeah, there's a lot of attractive people on this cast, and well, especially the females, I'd say more than the guys, not being or whatever, but I think they're just a little more attractive. And yeah, it's going to happen, and we're happy for it to happen.
Are you saying you're not attracted to ZZ?
Look, there are people attracted to ZZ. Doesn't do it for me, but yeah.
Are you privy to any secret, specific hookups that have happened so far?
Not to this point. Absolutely
No?
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know nothing, but I don't think anything's happened just yet.
Okay.
It's only been episode one.
We'll find out about it when it
Episode one.
happens.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be on it.
There's a lot of people with significant others, actually, so.
Right.
Speaking of which, we get into Deanna. No, that was a perfect segue, by the way. It's like you've worked in this field before. Deanna, you know, she loves her fiance. And
herself.
And her fiance. Which is great, which is loyal. I love it. I respect it.
Forgot sickening.
Shut up. Like, why are you spending... You can say thank you. You don't just have to whisper.
Oh, yes. No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, why are you rubbing in everyone's face like, oh, Christy, let me show you my fiance. Here, do you see it? I'm going to put the phone closer to your eyes.
Right.
Do you see my fiance? Isn't he dreamy? I'm the luckiest girl in the world, aren't I? Look at me.
But that wasn't even the worst part. It was I want to plan my wedding. I couldn't give two craps less about this huge major opportunity that everyone else values. I just want to plan my wedding and there's not even any Wi-Fi. Nothing.
To be fair, that's a catastrophe.
That's true. It's true.
That's that's as necessary as heat and water. Wi-Fi in a place that you're staying. Yeah. How are they going to Periscope? And
that's true.
And make everyone money just on their data plan.
But listen, there's nothing that's more, I think, kind of desperate and pathetic than a woman who's just all about her man. Especially when she's been blessed with this opportunity and has been given a lot of talent and she looks great and she could do a lot with her life, but I don't think she's going to because she's focused on the man. And that comes from somebody who was engaged for 4 years because I was trying to make my stuff happen. So
there you go.
I'm just saying, girl. Get with the program.
That was a message from Christy right there. And Deanna was also complaining about just being in physical pain the next morning, which then led to the physical challenge of, okay, you're going to run the ropes, hop up and down the sandbag, body slam it, keep doing it. You're going to do it over and over. On the second that you can't do it anymore, we're going to say you suck and you're going to get out of the ring. Deanna's saying, I don't think I can do it. She just flat out said, I don't know if I can do it. I'll try, but I'm hurt. And she does it like 17 times. And then on the other end...
See, that is girl power. But shut up about your man. Come on.
Don't complain that you're hurt if you did it more than everyone else.
And that.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you say that you're hurt and you do it better than everyone else, that's kind of like, hey, I'm hurt, so you just imagine what I can do when I'm not hurt.
Or it means that you're lying.
Or that. I don't know. I've never had a girl lie to me before.
Never. They've always been honest and loyal to you, George. Mm-hmm. Who are you dating right now?
I in turn have done completely opposite.
I don't believe that for 1 second.
Yeah, they lie to me all the time.
That I believe.
Meanwhile, on the guys' side, Booker and Billy Gunn are asking, everyone, all right, how many times do you think you can do it? This guy says 10. This guy says 15. This guy says 12. Yes, Tanner. I'm going to do twice as many as the highest score. What the hell is wrong with you? But the men's average was 8, and Tanner did 16. He backed it up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of intensity.
No.
But he did it. That was the one thing I noticed, because you can tell a lot about a wrestler by how they hit the ropes. And he was hitting the ropes textbook, but there was no intensity, there was no fire. That was one thing I noticed from Tanner here, that he did it 17 times, but I saw a bunch of other guys hit the ropes with way more intensity, way more fire, way more what you're looking for. That's what I noticed with Tanner.
And how about the cameo by NXT star Jason Jordan? All right.
Yeah.
He taught them how to run the ropes. Yeah. Did you get to step in a ring at all when you were there?
I might get in trouble because it is on TV. I was not allowed in the ring.
Okay.
But I did step in for a second. I just had a feeling once with my feet. I wiped my feet for the record, folks.
Well done, old school mentality.
But I literally stepped in it for just a second, just to feel it. I had to. Since I'm a kid, it was a dream. So I had to do it. Can I say something about Tanner real quick?
Please.
Yeah, they're new to this, of course. So running the ropes, they've only done it a couple of times. That might have been the second or third time they've ever done it.
Oh, yeah.
He is an intense dude when he has to get serious. When he's not serious, he's actually a really fun guy, very light and whatever. I think he'll step it up when the time comes in intensity. But he's just kind of a chill dude for the most part. But if you ever seen his MMA fights, he's a bad man.
Got it.
Yeah. Tough dude. Real tough.
So then from there, after the drills, they're back at the barracks. And Deanna's fiance shows up. Apparently, he's local.
We saw it was a Florida license plate, so apparently he is local.
Okay.
I'm a stalker.
She just
apparently.
No, I noticed that as well. And it was a nice car.
Somehow Steve also has his social security number. But she just takes off with her fiance. And everyone's just like, we're missing something.
Where'd she go?
Where'd Deanna go? And she comes back, complaining more about not being able to prepare for the wedding. And I'm sorry, I'm crying. I just had to say goodbye to my fiance. Did I show you him, by the way? Let me pull my phone out again. Here, Christy, let me put it in front of your eyes again. Do you remember him? Remember that? Oh, let me show you this photo. How's that? And Gabby, who I thought would be the one right from the get-go that I was going to hate the most, she's like, finally someone stood up and just shut up. You didn't leave. If you don't want to be here, just go. And I salute her for that.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about that scene is that we just happen to agree with Gabby right now.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks from now we're gonna
hate her.
Yeah.
We're gonna hate her so much we're gonna wonder why we ever agreed.
But we're gonna
with her.
love to hate her.
You're like, remember that one time she stood up to Diana? She's okay.
And that argument then led into Tanner and Patrick having an argument. Again, Patrick being the passionate wrestler. Tanner, the very talented MMA fighter, obviously well-built and is crushing everyone in these challenges. Patrick's pretty much questioning Tanner's heart, and Tanner's just being super cocky, saying, I'm going to beat all of you guys. And they have to get separated by the Russian.
Yes, Alex.
I'm just calling him the Russian. Now that Rusev is back in Bulgaria, we have a new Russian, and it's
Got it.
Alex. And it was like, come on, we got to go and see the judges.
I don't see anything wrong with Tanner being cocky, though. I mean,
he's backed it up so far.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I used to have some friends that would get annoyed by people calling themselves doctor. But to be honest with you, when you pay that much tuition and you go through that many years of education, yeah, of course you're going to want to be called doctor. If you're in that good shape and you're better in shape than everyone else, then yeah, you have a right to back it up. I don't see where all that... I think they were just jealous of the whole girl thing at the club, jealous of his nice hair, because yes, he does have some nice hair. Jealous of his athleticism.
They are lion locks of lust.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where us, especially in the internet wrestling community, nobody really bashes them until they're at the top. You know, it wasn't until Triple H was at the top of the game, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, where everybody
was
was
pun
like,
intended.
yeah, and then everyone was like, oh, I hate Triple H. It's the same thing. It's that kind of gang mentality of, here, let's pick on the guy who's crushing everyone. Let's try to bring him down to size. It's like a psychological warfare.
Can I give a quick Tanner story?
Oh, good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's a quickie.
Shush you.
But so they're doing their audition, whatever. They're doing the workouts, and it's the third. Whatever. They did a bunch of workouts. I think it was the third one. And Tanner's in the third ring. Everyone is dying. There are people that can't even, stand up after this. And I look at Tanner. He's in the corner and he's doing his thing. I go, Tanner, how you feeling? And he just looks at me and goes, vacation. he says, he goes, I work 16-hour days. He goes, this is getting, paid to work out. He's like, this is amazing. This is vacation for me. But that's all. He looked at me and just said, it was vacation.
That's awesome.
And everyone
like
else was
that.
dying. So.
This is great.
Yeah, so I think Tanner has a complete right to brag
So
about
far,
it.
yes.
Great shape.
So far, absolutely.
Well, because he does a 16-hour mini camp for fights. That's his work day.
Yeah,
So-
he's also a tree trimmer.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yes, he does that as well.
Oh, all right.
The one thing I'm just really curious of what's going to happen when he gets a microphone. That's what I want to find out what's going on, because obviously he's got the body. He can move around the ring, but you got to talk. And we all know if we watch Monday Night Raw, more than half the show you're talking.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Then we are live at the Full Sail University, and it's Q&A time with the judges.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, sorry to correct you. Were that there or were they at the Performance Center?
Oh, well,
They're Full Sail.
the Performance Center, which is at Full Sail.
I thought
No,
two different
Full Sail.
places.
They're two different places. They were a studio in Full Sail, which is
That's like a school.
Oh, right. No, they were at Full Sail. I'm saying that where NXT
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought they were at the Performance
No, they
Center.
were at Full Sail.
Okay.
And I wanted to go back to the very beginning of the show because I forgot to mention it. I love how they had a live audience there. Music played for Daniel Bryan, Paige, and Hulk Hogan. but no one would do anything until they physically were seen. It's like when you hear the music, oh my God, it's Hulk Hogan, yeah. No, hold on. Shush. Wait till you see him. Then go.
It struck me as a very well corralled studio audience.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
You got to keep them. Those production guys got to hear each other.
Right.
So they got to be quiet until it's time for them.
Yeah, they were responding to someone giving them
of course, yeah.
the go.
The go. So then it's Q&A with the judges, but there's only Q&A for 3 of the contestants. I was ready for, like, everyone to get a shot at something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But it was Diana, Hank, and Daria
Yes.
were the 3, and we all got really worried for Daria.
No, I wasn't really that worried for Daria.
I was a little worried for Daria.
I mean, it was just because she didn't take any real. I mean, she was honestly in this first episode, she was kind of an afterthought. But you know what? So was Sarah. So was the Egyptian Mata.
So was Amanda for a little bit.
So
of this
yeah.
episode.
So I mean, you're not going to get all 13 people and their stories and their drama in one episode. There's only so much time you can do that. So I wasn't really that worried about it. I just loved Paige owning Hank.
Yeah.
I mean, when he said, you know, okay, ZZ can't do this. You know, he's even worse than the girls. And he's like, oh, you know, I remember hearing you say that, and the girls beat you
Think
too.
again, buddy.
So, what did you mean by that? And just the way she asked him, I'm like, Paige is gonna kick his face off.
She couldn't be any more lovable. I know people love her and her personality anyway, and this is just going to skyrocket her.
If you watch Total Divvy, you can tell she's very brash, and she's not afraid to just speak her mind. So you know that she's perfect for the judge panel.
And she looked fantastic.
She looked amazing. I love you.
She always looks amazing. Hashtag creep.
And then from there, we get the bottom 3 announced. The bottom 3, as individually picked by the judges, were ZZ, Hank, and Josh. Now, we then went to commercial break because then people were allowed to go on Twitter, Tough Enough app, and vote on who they wanted to save. Because the lowest votes is going to get eliminated. When we came back from commercial is when all of them had 30 seconds to plead their case. And George, you brought up an excellent point when we were watching it. Why didn't they do that before the commercial, when people had time to think about it?
Josh did the promo, ZZ did the promo, Hank did the promo, and as soon as Hank was done, Jericho chimes in. He's like, all right, great promos, guys. Judges, do you guys want to save anyone? No? Okay. The eliminator is, and then it's like...
To be fair, they took a minute to ask the judges if they wanted to save anyone.
And he brought it up, too.
Mark?
His name is Mark. He has a name.
I was trying to think of his Twitter handle, whatever. Mark and I was gonna say Hank for some reason. I don't know. All these names.
So many new names.
Yeah. Mark brought up a good point. And I'm kind of curious now. I want to see when the voting stopped. So I'm gonna go next week and just kind of keep going on my app saying, all right, when can I stop voting? And I'm just kind of curious, just out of curiosity, because I noticed that literally the voting started as soon as I went to commercial, not a second before.
Well, again, it's just on The Voice. They do what's called the instant save. They do the bottom 3. The bottom 3 get to perform one more time. And then Twitter opens at the commercial. Come back from commercial, they've already performed. And whichever one was the lowest is when it's eliminated. So again, NBC Universal, same exact concept. But the difference was they did their performance before the voting started. Here they just pleaded their case when voting was pretty much done.
That was weird, yeah.
But I also think it's interesting that it's only 8 minutes and it's only on the East Coast feed. So if you're on the West Coast or anywhere else in the world, you just have to be watching live to be able to actually cast this
Although,
vote.
now that I think about it, maybe those promos are strictly only for the judges.
Oh, true, because they have
for a
because there's the
save.
one save that each judge gets for the season. Which again, just like The Voice, how the judges have steals. So yeah, each judge is going to be able to save one of the bottom 3 one time in the season, and it's going to be before they announce who's eliminated. So it's not like, oh, well, in this case, you know, spoiler alert if you haven't heard, Hank got eliminated. I know. So it's not one of those things where Hank gets eliminated, then Hulk Hogan stands up. No, I want to use my save. Doesn't work like that.
Which is what we would have thought.
Right. Before they make the announcement, all right, anyone want to save anybody? Anybody want? And then, so say for example, someone gets saved, and that person got the lowest amount of votes. then it's going to go whoever the second lowest. Which...
What if the other judge wants to save that person?
What if each judge wants to waste their save on 1 week and then no one gets eliminated?
I'm not a fan.
That would be really stupid.
I'm not a fan of
because they're also the ones choosing the bottom three. It would be interesting.
It is an overall really odd format.
Very different.
It's very different.
The first time they've ever done it where it wasn't pre-taped. The whole season wasn't taped before they started airing.
I think it's going to grow on me, but I got to get used to it.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Mark, when you're going through all these people, you can tell who the fans are going to love, right? Like, you know immediately who's going to connect with the audience.
You definitely, guess who you think your favorite's going to be. We thought, well, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I don't want to influence anyone. But yes, you definitely do. We're not always right, that's for sure. Actually, Tanner, throughout casting, is a funny, very likable guy. I'm not sure if he came off that way tonight. I was reading some of the feedback online. Some people didn't like how he was. Some people did. He's a really nice guy, so it's kind of surprising there. But he's also a tough competitor. So, yeah, you get surprised sometimes. But we look for people that we think the crowd will get behind, no doubt. The fans will get behind.
Well, with that, let's get into predictions. Because... obviously, it's only episode 1.
You're AFTERBUZZ TV.
I'm sorry. It's just blinking lights. It's just blinking lights. As you can see,
We should have warned you, Mark. Sorry.
We go all out here, as you can see.
Freaking out for a second.
So we're down to 12. Hank is gone. You cannot vote for Hank. He is no more. So one man and one woman will win a contract. Obviously, it's week 1, and there's a long way to go. And our picks will probably change week by week. But today, after what we watched, who are we picking to win? Steve, I'll start with you.
I'm going to make a bold prediction about our predictions.
Okay.
We're all going to say Daria. I'm pretty sure all 4 of us are going to say Daria.
I think, part of that is in fear that we would get our asses kicked.
Because
it would be rude not to.
Because if she doesn't win, she'll probably wind up back here eventually. We'll have to actually see her in the hallway.
New rule, guys. For your predictions, do predictions as if Daria is not part of the show.
Okay.
There you go. So with the exception of Daria.
Okay.
And I predict Sarah Lee.
Okay, and then for the man?
Patrick, but honorable mention to Tanner. It's between the two of them.
Okay, George.
I want to say I think Sarah Lee has probably one of the prettiest faces I've ever seen in my life.
She's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous.
Pretty.
Daria's going to tell her you said that.
I told her to tell her that.
Wait, what about me?
We're all sitting here trying to host a show. Somebody's trying to get his game on over here.
Speaking of which,
but I want him to text her so I can get my game on with her. What the hell?
Speaking of which, after the Tough Talk, I guess essentially what Daniel Bryan was asking Daria about the risk taking, he wanted her to say the obvious, but on a USA network, and he even called her. He even said that, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I totally should have said that." Coming out on not in an internet show, but an actual broadcast, primetime network show. She's
on for most likely several more weeks, so she has time for that.
Well, I'm saying that she did it on the Tough Talk.
Right.
Yeah, so just the message that she gave to me actually literally half an hour afterwards, she says, "Thank you for all the support coming out. Wasn't easy at all, but the support of the WWE Universe made it feel amazing." Those are her exact words from her to me. Aww. And then I told her to tell Sarah Lee that I love her.
So who are you picking?
Sarah Lee.
And the man. Because you got to pick guy, too.
Yeah.
I know we're in love with Sarah Lee and all, but come on.
Honestly, I really like the athleticism of Tanner. I think his, like you mentioned, but the opposite, I think he's not going to have a problem with the mic skills. In some ways, the cockiness might bring out the wrestling character type and makes for a perfect heel.
Mm-hmm. Christy.
Well, I'm having kind of a difficult time with the guys, to be honest with you. None of them are really standing out from the bunch to me. I'm kind of having a hard time. What's his name and who's that? And so the guys are watered down for me right now. I would say probably Patrick is the safe bet to throw your money on at this point. And the ladies I'm having trouble with too, but more for the reason because I feel like I've gotten to know them all and I like certain things about all of them. I think Amanda is going to come out a lot stronger than we saw her tonight. Mm-hmm. And she's got the look. I don't know. Georgia could be sort of a dark horse to me too. I don't know. The ladies are strong.
The Australian.
Yeah, the ladies are
I
strong.
will say the ladies are real strong on
They
this
are.
competition.
They really are.
Good job. Good.
So thanks for definitive picks, Christy.
I know.
I'm gonna also go Sarah for the females. It's not just because I think we're all in love with her. I just think she's just got that everyday look. I watched her audition video. It's just a small town girl. It's a cool story. She reminds me a lot of Christy Hemme in a way.
Yeah.
And for the guys,
She reminds me a lot of Christy Hemme too.
Yeah.
Christy Olson.
Christy also reminds you of Christy Hemme.
Yeah, you got to be
It's a
careful with that.
compliment. Relax,
You
it's a
compared me to
compliment.
Beth Phoenix a couple weeks ago, and I just
You got to keep your
It's
comparisons.
a compliment.
And then as far as the guys, my heart wants to go with Patrick because he's the wrestler, and I want to see him. Even if he doesn't win, I want him to get signed. But there's something about Mata
agree.
that I want to watch him on TV. It's just such a unique look. His size, even like the hair, like. He really stands out to me, and I want to see more of him.
His story, which I'm sure Mark is more aware of, is really touching as well.
Yeah.
he's the one with the 5-month-old baby, right?
Yep, he's got a little kid. A few of them do, actually.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's probably more the Egyptian Revolution stuff and all that he went through. Which,
Like you watch people get beheaded and things like that, right?
Yeah, that happened when he was even younger.
Yeah.
But then even more recently, he was back there playing basketball during the Egyptian Revolution, and he thought he was going to die. He actually called his parents and said, not going to make it. But they actually got he was escorted out of there by a tank. So he got taken after like a week of no food, no water, no anything, like in the second floor of some building, hoping he was going to live. So,
I hope we get to hear
him.
him tell that story soon on the
It's
show.
like a little more
be
of it.
awesome.
Are you allowed to pick a favorite?
I'm
Probably
glad
not.
you said it that way because I was going to have to abstain. I really was. I can't pick one.
Right.
You know, I have a relationship with all of them anyway,
Sure.
and I don't want to have any sort of influence in any way over anything. So
Gotcha.
I'll just
Okay.
give it that.
So
But I love hearing what you guys had to say.
so Mark picks ZZ, and
Hey, watch out for Zizi.
none of us pick ZZ actually. None of us pick ZZ.
Yeah, watch
say
out for
this.
Zizi.
If he's in the bottom three, I don't see anybody ever.
Never.
I don't
Never.
see him.
No. Yeah.
52% is a big number tonight.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
I was watching the live Twitter feed as well, and it was about 50%
that's-
about him.
That's
all the tweets.
combined. The other two combined. Or he beat the two combined.
Yeah.
So
I will say this about Patrick. I'm afraid, as far as predictions go, like I want him to win. I don't see him winning because I think at some point the wrestling experience will be used against him.
and it could very well be true, but we got a lot of stuff that we can talk about, but we got a whole season to do it.
Yes.
This was a lot of. I'm really excited for this. Mark, thank you so much
for
for
having
being
me,
here
guys.
tonight.
Pleasure.
Plug your social media stuff again.
Sure. My Twitter is Mark N Casting. That's Mark with a C. And then my Instagram, M Levine Photo. Go after that one, folks.
And do you got any other like projects coming up that you're allowed to disclose yet, or?
No, I'm taking a little break, and hopefully we come back with more of this soon enough.
Awesome.
Some of the
Yeah,
fans.
welcome back anytime.
Get those ratings up, y'all.
There. Thank Steve. Tell people how they can follow you.
They can follow me wherever I am, just right behind me. And they can also follow me on Twitter at Steve Kaufmann. That's KAUFMANN. Tomorrow I start 2 more USA shows, Mr. Robot and Suits, right here on AfterBuzz TV.
George.
Cool. On Twitter, you can follow me at Real Rosenberg.
That's me. But thank you for the double plug. I appreciate it.
You can follow me at Christy Reports.
Yes.
Fine. You can follow me at Hermoza, GHERMOZA, Twitter, Instagram.
Christy.
I am actually at Christy Reports on all social media platforms. And please also check out ChristyReports.com.
And once in a while, I'm on Twitter at Real Rosenberg. You can follow me on Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. Also catch me here Thursday night, hosting WWE SmackDown AfterBuzz. And of course, again, the hashtag ABTV Tough Enough. Keep the chat going. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. For Steve Kaufmann, George Hermoza, Christy Olson, and our guest Marc Levine, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
Yay.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.